AI could mean we're heading towards a post-B-movie world, and I think we should all be a bit more worried about that. Now, I don't know about you, but I love bad art. I love The Room. I love the films of Neil Breen. Hell, I'm even a years-long defender of Cats 2019. These works tend to gain traction in popular culture because they're funny, but they're also worthy of serious analysis in their own right. Pieces of media as fundamentally broken and ill-conceived as The Room, for instance, are often windows into the soul of their creators. Like, I think we can all agree that Tommy Wiseau was clearly working through a messy breakup or something when he was penning his opus, otherwise we wouldn't end up with lines like,
"You are tearing me apart, Lisa!"
A common term for these sorts of creators is outsider artists, and it's defined as people whose urge to create is so strong, so powerful, that they just kind of do it in spite of their lack of resources, formal training, talent, etc. For that reason, many argue that outsider art is among the purest forms of creative expression, and I tend to agree with that standpoint. But I also think it's one of the forms of creative expression that is most at risk by the advent of generative AI. We've spoken before about how the use of AI can drag down an otherwise great piece of media, but something I don't see people talking about as much is that the same is true in reverse. The inclusion of AI can elevate an otherwise terrible piece of media into something that at least superficially has some semblance of production value, thereby robbing it of everything that made it interesting in the first place. I've been making this argument to my friends for years, and I'm sad to say that we now have a case study of this actually happening in the form of the new Cool Cat movie. Now, if you've never heard of Cool Cat Saves the Kids, then what I suggest you do immediately after watching this video is round up some of your closest friends, get absolutely hammered, and strap in for the most deranged hour and 35 minutes of your life.
And I'm Cool Cat, and I love all kids!
It's essentially one big, very special episode. A kids movie where the titular Cool Cat goes around teaching kids lessons, like don't take a gun to school and stand up to bullies, you know, that sort of thing.
It's so wrong to steal!
There are too many iconic moments in this film to cover in this video, but my favorite is easily when the guy in the fursuit is doing his shtick out in the front yard, and if you zoom in on the background, you can see someone walk out of their house, see a giant orange cat screaming at some children, and then immediately go back inside like he's Abe Simpson at the strip club that one time. It's amazing, and I love it dearly, so you'd think I'd be over the moon to learn that Derek Savage, the eponymous mastermind behind Cool Cat, recently announced Cool Cat-topia, the long-awaited next installment in the Cool Cat saga, and it's AI. It's all AI, and it looks terrible in a decidedly unfun way. Now, am I surprised by this? Not in the slightest. Derek Savage has always been a hack, as evidenced by his belligerent use of copyright law to silence criticism around the time of the original movie's release, so this isn't out of character for him. Instead, I think we need to approach this as a glimpse of what's to come, a world where the Tommy Wiseaus of the future can realize their faulty creative vision so easily that we learn nothing about their character, life experience, or worldview in the process. A world where art is only ever mid, but never spine-tinglingly awful, to the point where decades after release, people will still form a ritual out of subjecting their loved ones to it. That, to me, is one of the biggest things we stand to lose in this so-called new industrial revolution, and I, for one, will miss it dearly when it goes.